Tonight, a rare sight on New Year's Eve.
Everyone's out. Everyone's full of New Year's resolutions.
The Prime Minister and many other Canadians taking advantage of an early Rideau Canal opening to enjoy a final 2025 skate. And counting down to 2026.
This is an excellent option for those that don't have New Year's Eve plans.
6 hours to go before we usher in the new year, looking ahead to the celebrations and a fresh January slate in Ottawa. Good evening. We begin tonight with a scene that is spectacularly Ottawa. An early opening to the Rideau Canal drawing crowds out for a rare season opening and year-ending skate. And the Prime Minister was one of the first on this morning, testing the ice alongside his wife. The 3.4-kilometer section of the world's largest skating rink is open between Somerset Street and the Bank Street Bridge. CTV's Caitlin Wilson joins us now live from the canal. And Caitlin, you had a chance to chat with the Prime Minister and lots of other excited skaters today.
I did. And as you mentioned, the Prime Minister was one of the first people out here this morning with his family taking advantage of the early opening. And I have to say, the cold really hasn't deterred anyone from coming down here. It's still packed. Lots of people out here. I'm eyeing that beaver tail line right now. And we had a chance to speak with some people this morning. And for some, getting out on the first day of the canal opening is part of their annual tradition. And for others, it's become a surprise way to ring in the new year.
For Doug Humphreys, there is nothing like stepping onto the Rideau Canal for the first skate of the season.
To be out on the ice surface before New Year's Eve, it's a fantastic day.
It's a moment some wait all year for, and after a stretch of bitter cold, the green flag went up Wednesday morning.
We're super excited, so we had to make it out.
The National Capital Commission opening a 3.4-kilometer stretch of the canal from Somerset West to the Bank Street Bridge. The first time the skateway has been open before January in years.
This is the fifth time since the year 2000. The last time we did this was December 2018, December 30th.
And whether it's your first time or your first skate on the canal as Prime Minister.
It's fantastic. And look, everyone's out. Everyone's full of New Year's resolutions and skating. And this is Ottawa at its best, Canada at its best.
There is one tradition that never changes.
All right, guys, who is first?
For a lot of skaters, the first day on the canal ends here with the beaver tail, but you better eat it before it freezes.
Beaver tails and skating on the canal, they're synonymous.
Just ask Mary and Patricia Chafe, who snagged the first one of the season.
Beaver tails is a necessity when we go skating outdoors, especially on the canal.
And as the year comes to an end, a skate on the canal turned into a surprise for these out-of-town visitors from Niagara.
We were going to play another family board game, and then we saw the canal was going to be open. We said, change of plans. Let's go skate before they leave.
The NCC is hoping to see the rest of the skateway open soon, but for now, the year is ending with a bang.
Happy New Year!
And there is no set date on when the rest of the canal will open. The NCC says there will be teams out here every day flooding the ice. And with the amount of people still out here, I'm thinking if you don't have plans for New Year's, this might be a great way to ring in the new year. And if you're close to Lansdowne Park, you might even get a chance to see the fireworks. Patricia?
Yeah, absolutely perfect. I was out there this morning before the beaver tail huts open, so if you can have a New Year's Eve beaver tail for me tonight, I would really appreciate that, Caitlin. Super fun. Thank you so much. CTV's Caitlin Wilson live for us tonight. Well, as the countdown to midnight ticks away, New Year's celebrations are getting underway across Ottawa this evening as we prepare to ring in 2026. Some planning to hit the dance floor, others more comfortable at home on the couch. CTV's Dylan Dyson was out today to get a sense of what is going on. I know you might be one of those who's more comfortable on the couch, Dylan, but there's a lot of other options for people too.
Yeah, that's right, Patricia. The reservations have been made now, the takeout's been ordered, and festivities across the city are set to get underway.
Rebecca and Aaron Deacon had one goal on the last day of the Ottawa Christmas market.
Bring in the new year with the new hot chocolate. We had both seen it online already, and we wanted to come down here and try it out.
A warm way to wrap up a chilly end to 2025.
We're coming for the last day of the market. Enjoying the hot chocolate.
So, how is Ottawa planning to close out the year and ring in 2026?
I'm celebrating with my cousins.
Me too.
Yeah.
So we're doing
getting together, having a big party.
spending it with the rest of our family, staying up late.
Doing some appetizers for dinner at my parents' house.
A big bonfire out west where we can have the fire and chilling with some friends inside with some snacks and some games.
I'll be out at the bars on Elgin Street tonight. I believe that's my plan.
Joshua, Coffee Market Atlanta, Olivia speaking.
Many bars and restaurants are booked up ahead of the big night.
That late night party, we're going to have a drop at midnight. That'll be beautiful. And then we'll also have a DJ playing all night. And, of course, the game on the projector there for those that want to watch the World Juniors.
And if you're still looking for something to do, the Ottawa Christmas Market is a free option with fireworks at midnight and the thirst responder pouring up drinks until 1 a.m.
You can come here before dinner, have a drink, wander around, and then come here after dinner as well. If your dancing plans don't pan out, just come here. Dance in front of the live music here.
And everyone has their own quirky way of bringing in the new year.
Our mother always makes us sing that
Old Lang Syne song in a circle.
In the circle, hold hands and do a little,
grandma.
Yeah, and our little rock, but we're not so much fans of it.
New Year's Day, my family, we always have, it's kind of a Greek tradition where we have a cake and we have a little coin in the cake. And whoever wins that coin, you kind of get like good luck for the rest of the year.
I'll be eating 12 grapes under the table. Kind of 12 grapes, one for each month for different things that you want to happen throughout the year.
Now, the only public fireworks display in Ottawa taking place at midnight tonight are at Lansdowne, being launched over the top of TD Place. And if you are heading out tonight, OC Transpo is now free for the evening on all buses and trains. Patricia.
Nice. A lot of interesting traditions out there for sure.
Absolutely.
Happy New Year to you.
You as well.
CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. And while we do prepare to ring in the new year, people down under are already living in 2026.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Fireworks were launched from around the Sydney Harbour Bridge in Australia following the countdown to the new year. Sydney is 16 hours ahead of us here in Ottawa, and Australia is one of the first countries in the world to celebrate the new year. Here's another reminder of what is open and closed here in Ottawa on New Year's Day. Ottawa City Hall and client service centres will be closed on Thursday. No curbside green bin garbage recycling collection tomorrow, with pickup delayed by 1 day. OC Transpo buses and the O train will run on a Sunday schedule. All malls in Ottawa will be closed. That does include the Rideau Centre. And some grocery stores will be open tomorrow, but passport offices and Service Canada locations all closed. You can find that full list on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca. Still ahead, lots of familiar names as Team Canada unveils its roster for the upcoming Winter Olympics in Milan. Is there a golden goal scorer among them? That story coming up. Well, you will want to bundle up if you are heading out on New Year's Eve tonight as frigid weather grips the capital to kick off 2026. A stretch of below seasonal temperatures continuing in Ottawa with an overnight low of -18 tonight, followed by overnight lows in the -20-degree range for the next 4 nights. The normal low this time of year, -14. However, Environment Canada suggests temperatures will warm up next week as we return to work and school after the Christmas break.
And so as we head into the new year, it's going to get colder and colder. But it's very brief because I do see a milder trend as we head into next week.
The average temperature in Ottawa this past month, -8.9. Environment Canada says this has been the coldest December in Ottawa since 2017. As we take a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam, all about bundling up out there tonight for sure. A very chilly evening. Light flurries expected to make an appearance later tonight as well. But the upside in all of this, of course, as we go to Jackie for our weather forecast, is that the Rideau Canal opened today, and it really looked like in Caitlin's story there that people were rolling with the weather today.
Yes, and I wonder how many people are going to stick around for those New Year's Eve celebrations, because it is going to start getting pretty cold, and we might even see some light flurries moving through here in Ottawa. And this has actually prompted that parts of the province snow squall warning as well as snow squall watch. So the warning really focused on parts of Ontario. Here, specifically in Eastern Ontario, it's been upgraded to a snow squall warning where we could anticipate 10 to 20 centimeters of snowfall, reduced visibility as well, and that's really focused along the seaway. But for Ottawa, though, Smiths Falls, this is clear. There's no watches or warnings in sight for this evening. But if you are on the roads, especially along the 401, it could affect your visibility on the road. So drive safe and stay cautious. Now, temperatures right now about -8, cloudy skies, Cornwall -7, Kingston -5, and really throughout the Eastern Ontario sitting around -10, -11. Taking a look at the floors, you can see that most of it concentrated along the seaway. Not so much here for Ottawa or parts of the valley. Mainly clear skies moving through. But as we look towards the temperatures for the midnight hour, when the clock strikes midnight, -14, feeling more like -22. And then tomorrow, more sunshine is on the way, but those frigid temperatures are going to be sticking around. We'll have these details and a long-term look at your forecast in just a bit.
Well, Ottawa police are asking for the public's help to locate a missing woman. 49-year-old Tara Barron was last seen around 9:50 a.m. yesterday in the area of Lakeside and Bronson Avenues. Barron is described as white, 5'6", with a slender build, green eyes and long, straight brown hair. Police say there are concerns about her health and well-being. Anyone with information about her whereabouts is asked to contact Ottawa Police. Well, a driver stopped for an expired license plate permit on Highway 417 was later found to be owing $27,000 in outstanding fines. Ontario Provincial Police say an officer stopped the driver after an automated license plate recognition reader discovered their plate permit had expired. Police say the vehicle was not insured, and they are now reminding motorists your plate permit will not automatically renew if you have outstanding fines. Ottawa police say no criminal charges will be laid after a school bus damaged a portion of Queckie Point. The National Capital Commission says damage was discovered on December 3rd at Whispering Point. That's the wooden shelter you can sit underneath while looking at the Ottawa River. The NCC said surveillance footage showed a school bus illegally driving on the pathway. Police tell CTV News Ottawa following an investigation, no charges have been laid. Well, no serious injuries were reported after an individual sprayed a noxious substance inside a Tim Hortons in Ottawa's East End. Emergency crews responded to a call at the Tim Hortons on Montreal Road at the Vanier Parkway about 5:30 yesterday afternoon. Police say someone sprayed the substance and the store was evacuated as a precaution. One person was treated at the scene by paramedics. Your New Year's resolution will need to include a carbon monoxide alarm in your home. Starting January 1st, changes to the Ontario Fire Code require a working carbon monoxide detector on every level of any residence with a gas-burning appliance, including a furnace or stove. Under the current rules, a carbon monoxide detector is only required outside every sleeping area. Stats from Ottawa Police show the intersection of Hunt Club Road and Riverside Drive continues to be the most dangerous intersection in Ottawa. 87 collisions have been reported at that intersection in Ottawa's South End this year. The second most dangerous, the intersection of Blair Road and Ogilvie Road, where 54 collisions were reported. There were also 50 crashes at Greenbank Road and Strandherd Drive. Stats from police show a total of 19,300 collisions reported on Ottawa's roads this year. That's up 2% from 2024. The Canada Revenue Agency says it is owed more than $10 billion in overpaid COVID-19 benefits. In 2023, the agency started sending recovery letters to people who owe money due to being ineligible to receive COVID-19 benefits. As of November 30th, nearly 1.4 million people have repaid roughly $3.3 billion worth of debt. The CRA says anyone who tries to avoid paying the money back could face legal action. Well, turning now to Peru, where Global Affairs Canada has confirmed Canadians are among the injured after two trains collided head-on. The collision took place on the railway leading to the historic site of Machu Picchu. A train driver was killed and 40 more people were injured, including Canadians. Health officials have confirmed 20 people are in relatively serious condition. Machu Picchu is the country's most popular destination for travelers, drawing more than 1 million tourists from around the world each year. The Ukrainians are ushering in the new year with growing weariness after Russian drones blasted southern Ukraine overnight. 6 people were injured, including 3 children. This as Russian President Vladimir Putin expressed confidence in eventual victory. CTV senior correspondent Judy Trin has the latest.
Це в Новгородській області. Russia's defense ministry is accusing Kyiv of launching a terrorist attack on Vladimir Putin's residence in Novgorod. The Kremlin says the attack was thoroughly planned and involved dozens of drones. Unconfirmed video of one drone that was shot down was shown on a giant screen. The footage was released 2 days after Putin called Donald Trump.
Putin told me about it. Early in the morning, he said he was attacked. It's no good. It's no good.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky denounced Putin's accusation as a lie. It came after his meeting with Trump on Sunday. Zelensky called it an attempt to scuttle peace negotiations. The U.S. NATO ambassador says independent verification is required.
Seems to me a little indelicate to be this close in a peace deal. Ukraine really wanting to get a peace deal done and then to do something that would be viewed as reckless or not helpful.
The source of this destruction in Odessa is clear. 6 people, including 3 children, were injured. Russia is escalating attacks on urban areas, taking out the electricity grid. Residents who live in this damaged building say right now peace feels impossible. We're all stressed and at the limits of our strength, says this woman. In Vishharar, after 4 days of cold darkness, power and heat returned on New Year's Eve. From cafes to beauty salons, working is a daily act of defiance, says this owner. Work can be hell. If you add air raid alerts and night strikes, we get thrown off track, but we still try to hold on, at least a little.
In his New Year's address, Vladimir Putin reasserted his belief that Russia can win the war. Russia currently occupies 20% of Ukraine. NATO officials estimate that 25,000 Russian troops are being killed each month. Yet Moscow is still able to replenish its ranks. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
The opening ceremony of the Winter Olympic Games just over a month away, and today we learned who will represent Canada in men's hockey. The tournament comes 1 year after the Four Nations face-off gripped the nation, and Canada is once again seeking glory on the ice. Here's CTV's Garrett Barry.
With superstars Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid leading the way, Hockey Canada has created a very similar group to the team which won gold at the Four Nations face-off in February. But there are a few notable subtractions. Travis Konechny, Seth Jarvis are off the team. So is reigning NHL playoff MVP and 2-time Cup winner Sam Bennett.
And it's a big-time mistake from Hockey Canada not to have him on the roster. I don't know what else he would have to prove in his playing career to be on this team. I thought he was going to be a lock.
Taking one of those spots, breakout star Macklin Celebrini, the 19-year-old from North Vancouver, is turning heads this year, competing for the NHL scoring title.
He fit in very well socially with the top players in the game, and his product on the ice speaks for itself. So he worked his way on.
There's turnover at goal, with Logan Thompson and Darcy Kemper joining Jordan Binnington in that position, but the entirety of the defense group is identical to that Four Nations face-off team. Other omissions: Chicago's Connor Bedard, Winnipeg's Mark Scheifele. Team GM Doug Armstrong said no one played their way off of the team, but 25 players worked their way on.
There's a lot of aspects that go into the team. You look at Hagel Sorelli's penalty killing. It's exemplary in the NHL.
NHL players are set to return to the Olympics for the first time in 12 years. Canada won gold that year, 2014. The last time league players competed.
The Milan arena that's set to host these hockey events isn't quite complete yet. Testing on the ice is set to start on January 9th. Today, Hockey Canada executives said they were confident the arena would get completed in time for the games.
Garrett Barry, CTV News.
Okay, so you landed at the airport and then you're trying to get into your Airbnb, but the door is locked. Are you safe right now? Okay, well, unfortunately, because it's not an emergency, we won't be able to assist you with it.
Still ahead, yeah, that's really not an emergency. A look at some of the most ridiculous calls to 911 this year. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Patricia. Today's chilly winds were much calmer than yesterday, but this will change when we get into this evening. Yes, it will be a cold one heading into the new year. If you've got New Year's Eve plans and want to maybe head outside to Lansdowne, you definitely want to bundle up. But minus 13 around 9 o'clock, but then by midnight, it's going to be minus 15, feeling more like minus 22. Tomorrow, expect to be one of the coldest days of New Year's Day in quite some time. But for now, here's a live look Through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, it's -9, and we are taking a look at downtown Ottawa with the beautiful lights all ready for the holidays.
Today's Snow Report brought to you by Some Edelweiss, where happiness falls from the sky.
And here's how things are looking at Edelweiss today. Good base out there, 40 centimeters. Some new snow as well. 4 of 5 lifts operating, 10 runs available for skiers and snowboarders. And yes, not everyone is on the canal. A lot of people on the ski hills today and tomorrow to ring in the new year. At Mont Cascade, 3 lifts operating, 4 runs available. All 3 lifts at Calabogie Peaks, and half of the runs are open at Vorlage. All of the lifts operating, 6 runs available. And at Camp Fortune, 4 of 7 lifts and 9 runs for skiers, snowboarders, and all those kids taking their winter lessons.
For the quickest access to the mountain, purchase your tickets online, summetedelweiss.com. Grab your pass at the pickup box and head straight to the lift.
From a DIY project with loved ones to a multi-million-dollar business success, a local entrepreneur is sharing how his Loud Cup has changed his life while giving sports families a new way to cheer on their kids. CTV's Sean Varden has more.
That is a Loud Cup.
So we launched in 2021, and last July, I think we hit 1 million Loud Cups sold. And
It started during the COVID lockdown, an idea to entertain kids. Just a few pieces of pipe and a bicycle inner tube.
It was actually quite effective, and the way that it was sitting on my desk, it looked like a cup with a handle on it. And then for whatever reason, my mind starts wandering. And, I thought, well, that'd be a pretty awesome mashup, a cup that sounds like a horn.
That idea transformed into a local success story, now worth millions.
So eventually, during COVID, I had a little eureka moment and decided to try and 3D print it, and it just snowballed from there. Prototype after prototype.
After dozens of prototypes and countless hours, success.
And I can sip and cheer at the same time. The moms just love it. I mean, not only does it allow us to bring a drink in the arena of water, of course, and but we don't need a bell anymore. We just use the Loud Cup. We can sip and we can blow the horn and then cheer our kids.
Conahan's business growing, the Ottawa startup not forgetting to give back, sponsoring local golf pros, rowing and hockey.
Called Jay and I said, hey Jay, the team's looking for sponsorship, and Jay said, yeah, no problem.
The Stittsville Rams receiving funds and their own Loud Cups.
We bring it loud and proud, and yeah, we love it.
Obviously we're a business, and we're here to make money, but if we can support youth, if we can support families, we're all in.
So far, Loud Cups are only available online. Conahan says with 6 employees, it's a lot of work, and he's looking to partner to take the business to the next level.
It's been an absolute exhausting but wild ride for sure.
Sean Varden, CTV News.
Only available online, but we have one right here. We're going to test it for you in just a moment. Meantime, want to let you know the new year will be starting the way the old year is ending, with cold temperatures, very chilly. Overnight lows to contend with as January begins, but less wind today meant many people were bundling up, getting on with things. The Ottawa River, though very beautiful, not attracting quite the crowds we saw on the Rideau Canal today, of course.
You were on the canal today.
I was on the canal. It was very pleasant this morning. It was really windy last night going home, but on the canal, you're a little bit sheltered, which was nice. All right, looking for ways to ring in the new year tonight. Maybe you're not at your kid's sporting event, but maybe you could try one of these Loud Cups.
This
from
is
an
a
Ottawa
2-in-1. I like it.
Do you want me to see if I can?
Yes, we're going to ring in the new year early here.
This at midnight tonight, maybe. And now the weather.
Thank you for that. I think there's nothing more to do than walk on over and talk about the temperatures right now.
Where do you go from there, Jackie?
This is where we're going to go. -9. We're loving these conditions right now. Today's high -8. Right now, we could see some light flurries for parts of Ottawa. You're going to see a lot more moving through as we get closer to midnight. -18 is the overnight lows really throughout most of Eastern Ontario. Pembroke and Bancroft going to be about -23. And then when you factor factor in the wind chill, it's going to feel closer about -28. So there is a risk of frostbite into the late overnight hours as we get into tomorrow's morning, where the daytime highs will only get up to about -15. Mainly sunny skies. That's the good news. If you are heading out to the canal tomorrow for your New Year's Day skate, make sure you bundle up. It will be much colder than what we saw today. Right now, across the country, temperatures sitting around -9 in Fredericton, Charlottetown, I should say, -7. Goose Bay sitting around -11 with some snow moving in. You can already see that Arctic chill really moving through Ontario as well as Quebec, starting in north. So Timmins -18, at Thunder Bay -17. Still a little bit warm by Windsor and Toronto, where temperatures are about -3, -4. And then our friends in the prairies, well, part of it, -16 in Saskatoon, -20 in Winnipeg, but Calgary seeing a little bit of that warm air moving through from the south. 8 degrees is what they will be finishing off the new year with, above seasonal for this time of year. 7 degrees in Vancouver. And taking a look at our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. -15 is what we will have for our New Year's Day, one of the coldest we've seen in quite some time. Overnight low is going to be -25 going into our Friday. The sun will disappear for at least our Friday, mainly cloudy skies. Saturday, though, we will see the return of some sunshine, but -16 is the daytime high. So I will take, Patricia, the dry conditions. We'll just have to bundle up, try to find a nice day for skating, because it will definitely not be tomorrow.
As long as you're dressed for it. There's no bad weather. There's only bad clothing, but yeah, cold. And I can't believe it's actually 2026. We're doing this.
I know.
This is happening. All right. We want to share this with you. I don't know if you laugh at this or you just think how sad people are really, but 911 dispatchers, they know it all. They've heard it all as 2025 comes to a close. Operators in one province sharing some of the unusual occasions that put their patience to the test. CTV's Andrew Johnson on some of the silliest supposed emergency calls.
911, do you need police, fire, or ambulance?
At British Columbia's busiest 911 dispatch center, every call could involve a life or death situation.
We can have anything like stabbings or shootings, assaults, very high priority calls.
And every call could also be a big waste of time.
Okay, so you landed at the airport and then you're trying to get into your Airbnb, but the door is locked. Are you safe right now? Okay, well, unfortunately, because it's not an emergency, we won't be able to assist you with it.
ECOM in BC handles more than 2 million 911 calls per year. Its target is to answer 95% of those calls within 5 seconds.
911.
So they'd rather you not call if someone stole your parking spot.
Sorry, so you're calling 911 because you wanted to take a parking spot, but somebody else took your parking spot, but then you saw that this person wasn't going into Starbucks, they were actually using that parking spot to go into Fraser Mart.
Don't like your haircut? Take it up with your stylist.
What are you wanting police to do?
If you're being harassed by a hornet, call the exterminator, not 911.
Okay, are you, safe, I guess, besides the hornet being there?
When it feels like gridlock is going to be the end of you, resist the urge.
You don't call 911 for a traffic report. That's inappropriate use of this.
Finally, it can feel life or death if you're about to miss your flight, but first responders can't do anything about your oversized carry-on.
Well, unfortunately, the police can't help you with that. If that's the rule of the airline, you have to follow the rule of the airline.
Honorable mentions this year go to the person who was looking for emergency help when their dishwasher wouldn't work, and the caller who was upset Walmart wouldn't allow them to return their air fryer. There's always 2026. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's good. So this is the pancreatic cancer cells that you were...
Well, after the break, Canadians appointed to the Order of Canada, why some local residents are among those being honored. Well, it was a memorable year for one Cape Breton woman who started 2025 with a cancer diagnosis and ended it with a special award from the local athletic community. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, Trish Walsh spent the past year inspiring many in her community.
When 2025 began for Trish Walsh, she couldn't have imagined what the year would have in store.
When I got the diagnosis, I was training for the Fredericton Marathon.
In February, the 68-year-old, who only started running about 15 years ago, was diagnosed with breast cancer.
And cancer took things from me, like my hair, but it wasn't taking my lifestyle away.
Through her treatment, Walsh kept showing up to local races and went to CrossFit 3 or 4 times a week.
And I didn't stop. When you hear the word cancer, your world kind of stops, but that was my world.
Fast forward to December, Walsh was nominated for an award called Barbarian of the Year, handed out annually to the Cape Breton triathlon community's best or most inspiring athlete. Trish was nominated for the Barbarian of the Year award against some pretty stiff competition, including one guy who is a former national-level swimmer, a second who completed an Ironman triathlon in 2025, and a third man who ran the entire length of the Cabot Trail over 4 days back in November. But when the votes were cast, Trish came out the winner.
There weren't many dry eyes around when she was making her acceptance speech, but every person in the room acknowledged that there could be no finer recipient this year.
Some people say that I'm an inspiration because I ran through my chemo and through surgery and now radiation.
Walsh finished radiation a week ago. She hopes to be done with all treatment come the spring. And while she may insist she's no inspiration, she does plan to keep going with a mantra she has borrowed from a Bon Jovi song.
Like you said, I just want to live while I'm alive, and that's the way I've been going forward with this.
Looking back with gratitude on a year that began with bad news and ended with a big win. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney River, Nova Scotia.
And tonight's big picture, New Year's celebrations continue around the globe as more countries usher in 2026. Here's a look at the celebrations in Beijing. An artistic performance taking the spotlight in Beijing as crowds counted down to midnight, and with that, China joins a growing list of countries worldwide who have already ushered in the new year. Now, some other stories you need to know right now. Canada is about to get back to work at the World Juniors, taking on Finland in a battle for first place in Group B.
Michael Hayes feeds that down, takes the return pass, slings it across, score! Fired home by Gavin McKenna. 9 seconds into the power play, Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
Canada is so far undefeated in the tournament, winning their first 3 games, including a dominating 9-1 performance over Denmark. Finland will be the toughest test yet for Canada, despite having lost a heartbreaker in overtime against Czechia in the last game. Finland was shut out by Canada when the two nations faced off at the World Juniors on Boxing Day last year, and Canada has won each of the last 6 meetings. Finland is just a point back of Canada at the tournament, and first place in Group B is on the line. Puck drop is set for 8:30 tonight.
Koenigseggen over the line to Amidovsky. Back to Iskakinen. He shoots, he scores.
Koenigseggen scoring his 3rd of the year for the Ottawa 67s last night en route to a 5-1 win over the Guelph Storm. Ottawa red hot right now on an 8-game win streak. They will look to extend that streak tomorrow afternoon in Oshawa. Puck drop is set for just after 2 p.m.
That's good. So this is the pancreatic.
Several Ottawa residents have been appointed to the Order of Canada. Ottawa cancer researcher Dr. John Bell has been appointed an officer of the Order of Canada. Bell says he's deeply humbled by the honor. Other appointees include restaurateur Stephen Bechta, who owns Bechta, Gezellig, and Play Food and Wine, former Carleton University president Roseanne Runte, and former clerk of the Privy Council Janice Charette, also appointed. Well, the voluntary grocery code of conduct for grocers, suppliers, and primary producers rolls out tomorrow. The grocery code is intended to promote fair dealings between grocers and their suppliers. It was set to bring more transparency, fairness, and predictability to the industry as a whole. The code will be governed by the Office of the Grocery Sector Code of Conduct.
Winner, Gagnon.
Well, someone in London, Ontario is holding a lottery ticket worth $80 million. OFG says there was one winning ticket in last night's Lotto Max draw worth the $80 million. It's the largest single jackpot won by a lottery player in Ontario. Friday's jackpot will be worth $46 million.
You should always make sure that you clean your humidifier.
Well, with flu season running rampant across the country, humidifiers can help to ease some of the symptoms, but you want to make sure to clean them regularly. After the break, we'll share some tips on just how you go about doing that. With dry winter air and cold and flu season in full swing, a humidifier can be essential to better skin, sleep, and overall health. But those machines can collect dirt, potentially even spreading bacteria and other germs. Pat Foran has some tips on keeping your humidifier clean in this Consumer Alert.
Humidifiers cannot prevent colds or the flu, but they can make you more comfortable and can soothe irritation and reduce inflammation in your airways by keeping indoor air moist. But how well you maintain them plays a big role.
You should always make sure that you clean your humidifier, because if you don't, that might start causing the growth of mold and bacteria.
To keep your humidifier clean, always follow the manufacturer's instructions, which typically include daily and weekly maintenance. Most will suggest you rinse, then towel dry the tank and fill it with clean water every day. And then give your humidifier a deep cleaning with distilled vinegar every week. And be sure to replace the filter or wick according to your owner's manual.
We've been testing humidifiers for decades. Some are way easier to clean than others, which is very important because you'll have to maintain that humidifier regularly throughout the season.
In this chamber, Consumer Reports runs humidifiers overnight to measure how many gallons of water each one emits. Ideally, you want a relative humidity between 30 and 50% inside your home. To help it work best, position your humidifier on a flat surface raised at least 2 feet above the floor. This allows for more moisture to dissipate into the air. Testers recommend this Vicks model for smaller rooms, and for larger spaces, this Honeywell. And if you have kids or pets at home, choose a cool mist humidifier which stays cool to the touch, unlike warm mist models that can pose a burn risk. Before you put your humidifier away for the season, give it a good deep clean, then make sure it dries completely, especially the inside of the water tank. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Well, in the face of harsh tariffs from the U.S. affecting trade here at home, it was still a record-breaking year for Canadian equities in 2025, closing out their second best year this century. Here's BNN Bloomberg's Lindsay Biscaya with your business report.
Well, despite closing today at a loss, the TSX saw 63 new all-time highs throughout the year. The advances were mostly driven by mining stocks and financial firms. Tech darlings like Shopify and Celestica have also contributed, moving the index higher this year by a combined 11%. Some economists believe a further run of gold and silver prices in the new year could continue to support the TSX, but maybe not to the same degree the market saw in 2025. And here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to $72.87. West Texas Intermediate is down to $57.42. Western Canadian Select also ended the day lower at $43.83. And the TSX lost 153 points today, closing at 31,712. And those are your business headlines. I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
And we hope that that's going to lead to better outcomes in terms of what we can generate, that it's closer to what lung or airway tissue is like in the body.
Still ahead, how researchers are combining science and gaming to make medical breakthroughs, hoping to make lung transplants a thing of the past. It's the final day of action at the Bell Capital Cup Championship Games, and the competitive divisions underway at Canadian Tire Centre throughout the day. The Sénateur Outaouais beat the Ottawa Valley Silver Sevens 6-0 this morning. More than 280 teams from Ottawa, across Canada, the U.S., Korea, Japan, and Kazakhstan have participated in this year's tournament. The final game gets underway in just a few minutes at 7 o'clock tonight. Well, it's something that could be right out of a science fiction movie. Researchers are combining science and gaming to make medical breakthroughs. And as CTV's Rachel Lau explains, the results are breathtaking.
More interesting for people to view. You might think this is someone gaming, but it's far from that. She's a researcher in a lab working on a revolutionary way to help people with severe respiratory issues. Are these anything interesting here? Are these injection points? Using a VR headset and a handful of 3D printers, MUHC researcher Dr. Darcy Wagner and her team are on a mission to make lung transplants a thing of the past.
And then the syringe sits here.
They're 3D printing patches which fit over a patient's damaged lung tissue. The first step, creating specific inks that are compatible with lung tissue.
We really try to bring tissue specificity to what we are generating with that, and we hope that that's going to lead to better outcomes in terms of what we can generate, that it's closer to what lung or airway tissue is like in the body.
The research is in its infancy, but has already shown promise.
So we actually saw that when we transplanted that we had these cues that vessels from the eventual recipient, that they could actually grow into the grafts that we transplanted.
Wagner, who's also a mechanical engineer, says she was in Munich when the idea for the project came to her.
That we actually made a pretzel. I know it sounds pretty cheesy, but this was sort of like the aha moment that I really believed it was possible when we first found materials and a process that we could actually make something that looked like a complex object that otherwise would be very difficult to generate.
Worldwide, about 7,000 lung transplants are done each year. There's only one hospital in Quebec that can do the surgery. It's a complicated, precise procedure. And according to stats by Transplant Quebec, 14 people are currently on the wait list in this province alone.
Yeah, you ready? Okay.
Wagner, an American who was working in Sweden, was recruited by the MUHC as part of its push to propel innovation.
Recruiting people like Darcy to come and work at the MUHC is really, really important to ensure that our community has access to the latest and greatest and excellence in healthcare.
The research is far from human trial, but if eventually approved, could one day save many lives. Rachel Lau, CTV News.
Anticipation is building in New York as thousands wait to ring in the new year with the biggest ball drop ever. We take you to the Big Apple after the break. Jackie.
And if you're heading down to Lansdowne here in Ottawa for the big New Year's Eve celebrations, well, it's going to be quite chilly. Overnight temperatures are going to be minus 18, feeling more like minus 23, 24. Flurries will be clearing out by the time the early morning rolls around. Mainly sunny skies, minus 15 is our daytime high. We'll get a look at your wake-up morning forecast after the break. But first, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, minus 9 in downtown Ottawa.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Friday on CTV, Your Morning Ottawa, we tell you how to set realistic fitness goals for 2026. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6 a.m.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now. Let the green flags fly at the Rideau Canal.
Saw the canal was going to be open. He said, change your plans. Let's go skate before they leave.
A stretch of the world's largest skateway now open, its earliest opening date in several years.
Our mother always makes us sing that like old Lang Syne song,
yeah.
Circle.
Preparations for 2026 are well underway as New Year's Eve celebrations get underway in the nation's capital.
A lot of aspects that go into the team. You look at Hagel Sorelli's penalty killing. It's exemplary.
And analyzing the roster and counting down the days until the Winter Olympics, Team Canada announced the highly anticipated list of who will be playing on the men's team this year in what will be the first Olympic Games to feature NHL talent since back in 2014, which was a pretty good year for Canada, as was 2010. Sidney Crosby, of course, scoring the golden goal that year. He's back on the team this year, so that's some longevity, and it'll be a lot of fun to watch these guys.
Bring back a lot of memories in 2010.
Absolutely.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. We want to check the weather, bring back the lovely memories of warmth here in 2025 because there's not much of it going into early 2026.
No, we are in for a cold couple of days, which is good news if you are enjoying the first opening day for the canal, and this can continue into the next several days. -18 starting things off, feeling more like -24. The winds are going to slightly pick up in the middle of the day, but it's going to calm down for the afternoon. Mainly sunny skies for Thursday, but I'm not loving those overnight lows into Friday, -25, Patricia. And then the sun will disappear for at least a day, but we'll see it return on Saturday. It's not until Monday, the start of our work week and school, where we could see the return of some flurries.
All right, good stuff. We've got some fun stuff happening here in Ottawa, the canal.
Yeah.
Lansdowne, those fireworks, couches, TV, all of that. I would love to be down here for this at some point. Anticipation building, of course, in the biggest city just south of the border tonight. New York has been ringing in the new year with a Times Square ball drop since 1907. 1907, somehow I've never been there for this. The celebration ushering in 2026 will feature the largest one yet. This year, the ball weighs more than 12,000 pounds and is adorned with over 5,000 crystals and LED lights. For the first time, the ball will be raised again after midnight. The plan is to have another ball drop to usher in the 4th of July in celebration of the country's 250th birthday. Well, maybe we'll get there for that.
Maybe we'll get there for that. I hear the trick, though, is to do the rehearsal one, because just to get in, you have to get there starting as early as like 3 a.m.
You're in there
9
for a long
a.m. Do you want to
time.
be there until midnight?
Maybe not. Maybe not. But up till midnight tonight, I hope everyone has a wonderful new year.